have this car for, I don't know, it's about 2 weeks. A bunch of stuff to it. She runs smooth. This is really a nice car, very comfortable. Big difference than driving in the truck or in the M2, a completely different class of car. One of the things that's extremely important is that, you try to plan a day where you actually accomplish stuff, and when it's not all up to you, then you end up wasting a lot of time. You just run around and try to complete something, and it never works. I remember when it was 2000, that was a quarter of a century ago. Can't believe it, but I remember there was something called Y2K. Everybody thought because it was going to hit 2000, for those of you that are young and didn't live through it, they thought all the computers would go haywire because nothing was built into the computers. And that's not the important part. The important part was that was 25 years ago. So time is going to pass whether you do something or you don't. So you could say, I'm not going to go to school. That's going to take 3 years. It's too long. And before you know it, 3 years comes and goes. So really, you have to spend each and every day, number one, enjoying yourself, number two, having self-awareness, and number three, trying things. You may fail at things. We all fail. I fail numerous times. Not how many times you fall, but how many times you get up. And the more you try, and the more you learn things, the next time you approach something, you have more information going into it. Everybody does New Year's resolutions, and I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions, but it is a nice day to start, right? Because the way we look at it from a mental perspective is it's a clean slate. And from this point forward, I'm not going to do X. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to overeat. I'm going to start exercising. We really could do it on any day, but we choose January 1st to be the biggest day for resolution. The importance, however, is consistency, because a lot of New Year's resolutions fail. A lot of people want to do all kinds of things. They want to change their entire life. It's better to pick one or two things that you concentrate on, truly master those, and then continue to move on. One day at a time, 1 minute at a time. Don't worry about slipping up. People are going to slip up all the time. You set yourself up for doing a habit. People think they need to do it consistently. And consistency is extremely important. I'm not saying don't do it consistently, but when you set a habit, sometimes you'll fall back to your old habits, and there'll be a day where you don't do something. That's okay. One day's okay. You start doing 2 or 3, now you have a new habit. So you have to be very careful for that. Don't be hard on yourself. Figure out what your why is. Figure out your purpose. Pick January 1st and move forward. I know we're starting to do some things with the house. Why? It's a new year, right? So everybody says, new year, we'll start doing things that are different. Doesn't matter what the reason is, as long as your why is strong enough and you move forward carrying out your goals. You have to want to do something in order to actually accomplish it. We all say it's consistency and discipline, and I agree. But what falls behind all of those things is your actual desire or your belief system. You don't believe you're going to be able to accomplish something? I don't care how disciplined you are. You will eventually self-sabotage yourself. It's consistency, it's that discipline of doing it all the time, and it's having the beliefs, the belief that you could actually accomplish something. Just because we set our mind to something doesn't mean that we could accomplish anything, right? Everything that I tell you, if you look at it, it's on a pendulum. It kind of all sits in the middle, right? Because if we say, if you think positively, things are going to be great, within reason, right? You could think positively and not do anything, and nothing is going to happen. If you think, I'm going to set a goal and I'm going to accomplish it, some of the goals may be unreasonable. I've said this before. I'm not going to be the center for the Chicago Blackhawks or the center for the Chicago Bulls. That time has passed, right? So you have to be realistic within your goals. But that doesn't mean that you can't set high goals. It's never too late to start being who you're supposed to be. And that's a beautiful statement, right? Because it's never too late to start something. I was watching Instagram yesterday. They were running a race. The guy in the center was 104 years old. 104. He was running. He didn't finish first. He finished last. But the fact that he was even on a track running at 104 is a tremendous accomplishment. You have a goal. That goal you don't break it down into a plan and figure out how you're going to do it. It's always going to just be a dream. It's never going to go ahead and actually become a plan where you carry it out. You have to take your dream, turn them into a goal, make them into a plan, carry those plans out, and you will move closer to being successful on whatever that dream was. remember, time is going to go by anyway. So you might as well be working on things that are going to actually move you towards the life that you want. The key to all of it is action. And I'm guilty of this. Because I could sit, I could learn, I could read, I could pontificate. I still take action, don't get me wrong. But a lot of times I don't. And that's the difference of what we talked about before. The difference between motion and action. Motion is when we do things and we think we're doing something for our goal. So that's reading, preparing, making a client list. Those are all motion things. They're not action. Action is when you actually do something, when you actually are in front of the clients talking, when you're actually in front of someone being able to go ahead and close the deal. We spend a lot of time in motion preparing to do things, thinking that we're actually doing something, and we're not. The only time we're doing things is when we're actually doing something that's going to move us towards our goal. 25's coming. Whether we like it or not, it's going to be here in a couple of days. You can choose to make a change, to have the life that you want. You have to do that one day at a time. You have to do that by accomplishing one goal at a time. You do that, you stay consistent, you be diligent, you have a strong enough why, you're going to have a hell of a 20.